What is up, my people? This is the Free Three. It is your boy Noble Living. And last night we had a great slate of college basketball games. Now, I wish I could be coming to you guys this morning a little bit more excited, a little bit more enthusiastic to say that we crushed the board, we swept it, we hit our parlays, and we didn't. But the beautiful part about it is we have another day. We have another opportunity. And today we have a full slate of games, college basketball going on all night, some big time conference action. And my goal today is to bounce back from yesterday. Even though yesterday wasn't a bad day, it just wasn't as good of a day as we could have had. So today I'm going to break down 3 to 4 best bets for you guys on this college basketball slate. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Shorter stream today, about 15, 20 minutes, just like an old school video where I'm going to pitch my plays. If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, drop it inside of the chat for me and I'll be able to check in. But for today, we're going to cover real fast what went on yesterday and then what best bets we got for today, all right? So let's head over to action real quickly and let's take a look at about how yesterday went for us here on the channel. So I'm pulling up my screen here real fast. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Let me make this a little bit more full screen for you. And let's go to the action yesterday to see how we did in yesterday's pick. So like I said, it wasn't a terrible day. It wasn't a bad day. 3-3 on the day yesterday. We could take a look at what we picked yesterday here on the channel, see how we did. Give me a second here. Let's see here. All right, let's view all of our picks right here. Yesterday, we got our 4-leg parlay of the day right. Yeah, we built around Baylor, no sweat bet there. And then we got Auburn right, we got Marquette, and then we also got Utah State. Marquette was a little bit of a sweat, I'm not going to lie. If you had taken the first half, which I was thinking about, you would have lost. So I'm glad we took the full game there, but we got it done. No sweat. Arizona, we got it done. No sweat. Edmonton, shout out to Ron, man. Shout out to the community. Shout out to Ron. He came in here and gave us Edmonton. It was minus 150. I said juice only matters if we lose. We could have paid the puck line on this. We cashed in. Now, that Kentucky bet, that one hurt. I lost twice on that one. If you guys follow me on Twitter or on X, I put out that I was going to grab them at plus 9.5 at halftime, which I did. Same thing with Tennessee at plus 15.5. And it was disappointing to see both of those teams really go out in the fashion that they did. I mean, shout out to Florida. Shout out to Georgia. The way that both of those teams handled the runs that they played yesterday, I mean, was amazing. But overall, when you think about it, both of those teams could have shown a little bit more fight. Oop, I didn't even realize I had this up on the screen here. Hold on, let me move this comment real quick. All right, there we go. And but disappointing loss for Kentucky. Our NBA parlay of the day loses. Suns and the Lakers fold there. And then our long shot parlay loses. But the crazy thing is, look at this. We got St. John's right. We got Mississippi State right. BYU actually really blew that game. They were up by about 5 or 6 points late. And then Kansas State was a complete run out. But when you look at the board yesterday, the reason why I was upset is because I felt like there was a lot of opportunities out there, especially Michigan late. I liked them, but I just didn't put them out on the performance board for you guys. There was a few other leans that we had, such as Duke, and it was just we didn't really maximize the day as much as I really wanted to, but it's okay because today we're going to bounce back. We still have some time here. It's start of the year. We've been on an amazing streak. You saw that real quickly on the screen. 30-18 for the last week. I mean, you can't beat that. You see the streak that we're on here on the channel. So let's run it back today. I'm not going to yap too long. Let's look at the college basketball board. A lot of games that I really like, and I'm going to go back with my gut feeling like I did yesterday, okay? It bit me in the ass on Kentucky taking a road favorite, yeah, and it hurt. But guess what? I'm doing it again today. And sometimes we're going to take underdogs. But for me, I like some of these lines. They are fishy. I told you guys to stay away from the fishy lines. But when you look at the narrative, when you look at these teams, some of them really shouldn't lose, like UConn today. UConn and Villanova, that's the game a lot of people are talking about. I get it. UConn is on the road. They've struggled on the road. Villanova has won 8 straight games. If you look at the numbers here as I scroll down, against the spread, UConn 2-3 on the road. Meanwhile, Villanova is 9-6 and 7-4 against the number at home. I do like the over/under numbers here. 11-3 to the over for Villanova compared to just 9-6 to the over for UConn, but 4-1 to the over on the road. I do lean towards the over in this game, but the bet that I'm going to take, and I don't bet against Dan Hurley. I don't bet against the national champion, not because they can't lose, because they're not invincible. We saw that earlier this season. but this is a situational spot where I think we're getting a lot of value on them, and it's not many times that you're able to get UConn at literally plus value. So I would wait throughout the day because I bet some steam and some money is going to come in on Villanova, or you're going to be able to get Villanova live. I mean, UConn live at plus money, but I like UConn. Look at this. They've got the fourth longest streak in the country, winning 8 straight games. We know what happened right here. But besides this blemish in the Maui Invitational, which was played in Hawaii, and let's be honest, all right? Like, they got their asses handed to them, but I mean, if you're going to get your ass handed to you, let's have it in Hawaii. Since then, they've faced every team. They've beaten every team. They've shown what they can do in conference. They're 4-0, and obviously these conference games are not the strongest of the opponents, but at the same time, they are beating the opponents in front of them. And Villanova, yeah, they've been okay, but this is the thing. Every time that they've got your hopes up, like a win against Cincinnati, a win against Temple, again, win against Seton Hall, they lose against Creighton. Okay, tough loss on the road. I get that. That's a conference game. They're figuring it out from the beginning of the season. 5th in offensive efficiency, but that defense is a problem. 180th in defense against a UConn offense that's 2nd in offensive efficiency. So yes, Villanova can score the ball. I'm leaning towards the over. This is UConn's game to lose. And there's going to be a tough fight. It's going to come down to the last final possessions, and that is where the difference is going to be made. Right here. Dan Hurley, and if we go back to Villanova against Kyle Neptune, and Dan Hurley is the better coach. He's a 2-time national champion. Connecticut runs sets. They run plays. They don't get flustered. That is the execution that you need down the stretch. I know that Ken Palm has this as a win for Villanova, 78-77. There's going to be sharp money on them. They're number 2 at hitting three-pointers, but they suck at giving up three-pointers as well. So if you suck at giving up three-pointers and you're facing a team like UConn that can shoot three-pointers just as well as you can, then it's going to come down to the coaching. I'm taking UConn on the road today on the money line. I know it's not a popular play, maybe. I know some people are going to be on Villanova. I get it. I'm taking UConn. I like them in this spot here today. And I mean, this is not one of those conference opponents that they lose to. Villanova, they'll get back in the national NCAA rankings conversation, right? They're back in the conversation. At first, at the beginning of the year, it was panic mode. Shout out to them for kind of figuring it back out. They're going to have to pick up a few more conference wins, but I don't think it happens here today. And I know it's not popular to be going with road favorites sometimes, like we did yesterday in Mississippi State. Everybody was on Vanderbilt. I saw some people on Mississippi State, and guess what? Those people got paid out, right? Michigan was another road. They were road dogs, small line like this one as well. Guess what? They got it done. So I would wait to get this at plus 100, honestly. So I'm just going to change this to plus 100 because there is a book out there that has that at plus 100. I'm doing 1 unit down on UConn. That's the first pick of the day. Now, for the second best bet of the day, I'm going to go to another game, and this is a team that I've just watched. This is just which team is better, which team wants it more type of bet. And it might not be popular. You might not have watched one of these teams, but I am tired of the books giving us this line, and people are falling for the line. I can't pull it up on the stream because it will black it out because it doesn't show you the messages. But I'm a part of this group that gives you all these handicappers picks, a lot of the people who pay for picks and stuff like that. So sometimes I scroll through there just to see what guys are on and stuff like that. And a lot of people take this team Miami because the line is short. It's -1.5, whatever. Miami's 4-10, my friends. Okay, Florida State is 10-4. But even if we scroll down here and look about Miami, they're 4-10 against the number. So they're 4-10 ATS. They're 4-10 against the number. They're not much better as a favorite at 2-7. So you're damn near better off at taking them as a dog, right? Everything's falling apart for Florida. Jim Larinaga left in the middle of the season, the Hall of Fame coach. We saw that. I mean, look at this. Loss. 3 straight losses against the spread. Florida State, on the other hand, we needed them on Saturday to hit our Haywood Haymaker, our plus 2,000 parlay, and they got it done against Syracuse and covered against the number, right? That was a tough loss to Louisville. But Louisville has proven themselves to be a good team. Great win here against Winthrop, and then a good win against Tulane, and then a tough loss on the road to NC State, right? Florida State is a very strong team, and this Miami team, they're in shambles, in all honesty. I would not be surprised if they go winless in the ACC. I would not be surprised if they win 2-3 games in the ACC. I mean, look, Ken Palm has this as a 2-point loss for them at home, and the books are giving us Florida State at what? At plus 105, I don't need the points. I don't need the points. I'm taking Florida State here, and don't overthink it. Miami is just in shambles, and the books keep giving us. We took Virginia Tech here, and Miami, they literally gave up an and one with 3 seconds left in the game for Virginia Tech to hit the game-winning shot. That is what you're betting on. That's what you're giving me a short line on. They're losing games because they're inexperienced, because they're boneheaded. That's not where I want my money. But I would put my money on a team like Florida State that's won 3 of their last 4 games, that started off 0-2 in conference and need to pick up another conference win to keep pace, because they understand that they're not like one of those teams that are going to get an at-large bid. This is not the strongest non-conference schedule. They have 0 quality wins here besides Rice, maybe Temple, maybe Hofstra. So you need to pick up some of these wins here in the ACC. So you can't drop a game to Florida if you're trying to get into the NCAA tournament. Leonard Hamilton, one of the best coaches there in Tallahassee. I'm taking Florida State as our second pick of the day. Our third and final best bet of the day before we do our plus 100 Moneyline parlay. Those things have been absolutely smacking the bankroll builders. I hope you guys have been making money on the bankroll builders, guys. I'm going to, let's see. What's up, Just K? How you doing, fam? Did you see Miami lost at the buzzer the other day? That just showed me it's FSU. Yeah, man. Like, that's what I was just talking about, bro. That's what I was just talking about. It's literally, that's what I was just talking about, man. And that's what lets you know that this is deeper than just like, this is where you have to watch the teams. They're not bought in. Those guys are ready to transfer. Those guys are worried about them. They're playing one-on-one ball. They turn over the ball. Like, it's simple stuff. And I just don't want my money on that. But I will fade that. And if you're going to give me a short line with a team like Florida State that has momentum, that needs to win, I'll take it, in all honesty. And a team that needs to win as well, that just needs to kind of get the monkey off their back, is this team right here, Oklahoma. And I'm taking Oklahoma today as they take on Texas A&M. Oklahoma got absolutely smacked in their last game against Alabama, and that's just because it was really their first true road test in that game. We faded Oklahoma in that game. We had taken Alabama, and Alabama paid us out very well. You can see that game wasn't even close, a 28-point victory for them. But look at this schedule for Oklahoma. No wonder why they lost. Everything was home or on a neutral floor. They never played in a true road environment. And you came into that game undefeated? Nah, that's not how that's going to happen. Now they're at home against Texas A&M, and I like them in this situation. I know Ken Palm has this as a loss for for Oklahoma, but the reason why I like them against Texas A&M, not only are they the 24th in adjusted efficiency, 23rd in effective field goal percentage, they hit their free throws, they hit their 3-pointers, they hit the 2-pointers, and they don't give up a lot of threes. These are all the things that I like about Oklahoma. Porter Moser, he's one of the best head coaches, offensive minds in the game. He does very creative ways to get Jeremiah Fears the basketball. You see they have quality wins like Michigan, like Arizona, like Louisville, like Providence. But this is the thing about Texas A&M. Their best player, Wade Taylor IV, he's not playing in this game. Right here, you can see Wade Taylor, injury update. All these ads are popping up here. It's right here, one of the best players for the Aggies is set to miss the contest due to an injury. And that's Wade Taylor right there. He's officially been ruled out. And this is the thing. He leads Texas A&M in a lot of categories. He's averaging 30 minutes per game. He left in the second half of last game, so we didn't really get to. We got to see Texas A&M without him, but we didn't get to see them for a lot of time. He still played significant amount of action, a whole first half and a part of the second half, and he did also come back as well. And then he was ruled out for this game. So there's something with his knee. They're not trying to push it, but he also leads this team right here. You can see Wade Taylor leads Texas A&M in 15.7 points per game, and he also leads them assists. So your number one point per game guy is not playing. Your number one assist guy is not playing. And Texas A&M is one of those teams, like you can see here, they're 239th in effective field goal percentage. They're 231st in turnover percentage. They're not a team that's good offensively. Don't let the 39 adjusted efficiency fool you. It's because their defense, which is 6th, their turnovers, right, is leading to offensive possessions, and then they also get offensive rebounds, and they get to the free throw line, right? That's what their offense is predicated on. But their half-court offense, what are they going to do today when they need to hit a 3-point shot and your shot creator or your assist guy is not playing? You see what I'm saying? That's very, very hard. It's not an overthinking spot. Tough target on their back. They've also won 8 straight games. Great quality wins for these guys. But, I mean, none of these opponents that they faced recently really shoot out at you. Purdue, yeah, sure. I mean, Texas Tech is flying under the radar for sure. Texas, okay. But now you're missing one of your best players here. It's just a tough spot, tough place to play in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm taking Oklahoma Sooners. I would take the money line. In all honesty, you can do the -2.5. I think it's a blowout. For the sake of the video, let's do a unit on this at -135 for Oklahoma on the money line, and let us go to our money line parlay of the day real fast. Let me zoom through this real fast. So 3 bets so far we locked in, guys. UConn at +100, Florida State at +105, Oklahoma at -137. You'll probably get at -135. That's great value for this card so far, and I like it. I hope you guys like it. A lot of these games are pick'ems. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to load up a money line parlay for us, guys. 3 to 4 teams to get us to +100. That should get us done. These are our bankroll builders, and you guys know that we find one pillar first, and then we build around the pillars. So for the first pillar that we're going to go to is we're going to go over to Indiana against USC. USC is traveling into town. The 9-5 Trojans are taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana's coming off a very big win. I actually faded Indiana in that matchup, and they were able to pick up the win at home against Penn State. On the road, excuse me. Shout out to Penn State for putting up a little bit of a fight, but I mean, covering a 7.5 point spread, +275 on the money line. For them to win that game was tough. Meanwhile, USC on the other side, they were at home in their last matchup against Michigan, got absolutely smacked. Didn't even cover the 5.5 point number. They were an underdog at home and still got smacked. Michigan traveled halfway across the country, and if you dive into Southern Cal's numbers a little bit more here, let me just zoom out real quickly so I can pull up USC's numbers for you guys. You can see here that USC is just really not good. Eric Musselman, he's going to get them turned around there in about 2-3 years. But overall, look at this quality of schedule. Oregon, step up in class, so they lost. New Mexico, St. Mary's, Cal. Anytime they really step up in class, besides this win against Washington, which was an impressive conference win on the road, I mean, and Washington's really not that good, if we're being honest. So it's not impressive. It's not impressive. USC, they struggle to hit shots, and because they struggle to hit shots, I think Indiana's going to get the win today at home outright. That is what we're building the parlay around, -300 on the money line. Now, the other favorites that we're going to throw in there today to get us to +100 real fast, we have a few on the board. The first one is Alabama. They're on the road at South Carolina. They're about 10-point favorites. Alabama's going to crush them. South Carolina, they're decimated with transfers. Everybody left from last year's team. That team was electric, and they have a really good coach, Lamont Parrish. He was at UTC when I was there. Shout out to him. He can make them be competitive, but Alabama's just too good. They can stretch the floor. They hit way too many 3-pointers, and if you can't score 90 points and you don't have the offensive weapons, which South Carolina doesn't, they're not going to win the game. Secondarily, Dayton, another team that has way too many weapons for their opponent. UMass, shout out to Coach Martin over there, former head coach at K-State, but UMass is just not that good of a team. We can see so far in the year, if we close this real quick, that they're 5-10. They've struggled on the money line. They've struggled against the number. I'm trying to see some of their recent matchups here. You can see they lost to Richmond. They lost to St. Joe's. Arizona State. Anytime they step up in class, they get smacked. Dayton just lost their last game. Nobody was expecting that. They were on the road, yes, but to see Dayton as big road favorites lose to George Washington by almost 20 points in conference, it's not hit the panic button just yet, but it is something that it's like, hey, we need to bounce back. We need to make a statement. We need to let this conference know, like, hey, we're not to be messed with. So I think Dayton wins this game pretty handily, and they cover on the money line. So those 3 legs so far get us to -115 odds. You can take that. Indiana on the money line. We've got Dayton on the money line, and then we also have got Alabama. The last leg that you can throw in there, you can do Wofford on the money line or first half money line. Wofford's going to smack Western Carolina. Western Carolina is terrible. They're terrible. One of the worst teams on college basketball. They're terrible. They're an automatic fade. But the other team that we're going to put in there is we're going to scroll down here to a late night 9 p.m. game. So that's why I put all those games early. So -115. What I would do is I would do like a unit on this 3-teamer right here, like -115, right? or it's minus 117. So I put like a unit on this, and then I would retain the same selections, and then so I can get to plus 100, and then you can add either Kansas on the money line or Illinois, and that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go two parlays. So we did one at minus 115, and then we're gonna do one at get to one to plus 100 here. So Alabama, day in. So you can see they're all at 7 o'clock. So that's what I like to do. I like to do the 7 o'clock all together so that way I can make my money and then I can move on to the next time slot, right? But if you have to wait all day, there's nothing wrong with that. But, sometimes that's just, it's your way to double up on your money. So I made my money first and I roll things over. I do switch. So that's what we're going to do. One unit on that. Then we're going to throw Kansas in here for right here. Illinois right there, and then now we got one at plus 140. You see what I'm saying? So that's now even better value right there. Track that parlay, and that's our two for the day. You want to throw Gonzaga and San Diego State in there, and you want to wait all night for your money? Be my guest, right? Like that's what I do. So I like ladder I'll do like half a unit, and it's like a ladder up, and the but you got to have your solid legs. If Indiana loses, then that's tough. Or sometimes you could play around with your time slots. So that's it for us for today for the college basketball slate, guys. I'll drop a few NBA plays on X a little bit later as we look at the player props and the injuries out there. But for today, we're going to go UConn on the money line at plus 100. Florida State at plus 105 against Miami. We're going to fade Miami until the wheels fall off. We got the three-way parlay at minus 117 of Indiana, Alabama, and Dayton. And then we added some other money line favorites like Kansas and Illinois, against Penn State. If you want to throw Gonzaga in there, you can. But we just did these at 7 o'clock so we can make our money early so we don't have to wait all day for these, all right? And then we did Oklahoma on the money line as we're fading Texas A&M without Wade Taylor. That is what I like on the college basketball board today as official best bets for the free three. If we do I have a few more seconds here. Let me just see if there's any other marquee matchups that some people may want to cover real quick, or if you guys have anything in the chat. I do lean Bradley. I know a lot of people are on Drake. I do lean Bradley here. The reason being is Drake has the target right now in the conference, right? Let's be honest. A lot of people are talking about Drake. We saw their great start. They're 12-2, but their last two losses have come in conference play after starting off 12-0. They have the target because everybody's talking about the D2 head coach and everything like that. Rightfully so. They beat K-State. But this is the thing about that team. Bradley is the big dog. This is their conference. Bradley is the team that's gone to the NCAA tournament several times in the last few years. So they're not just going to let Drake come in their home arena and just beat them like that. I'm not buying that. So I do lean Bradley in that game. They're more experienced. They have more size. And let me show you guys this real quickly. I use KenPom. I would highly encourage everyone to get a KenPom subscription. It's like $15 for the year. It's like stupid cheap. What you can do is you can go right here and actually click on the conference, and you can see Bradley's projected to win the conference at 15-5. Drake, again, shout out to their start, but now is when shit gets real. We're in conference time now. So you're giving me a short number on Bradley at minus 2.5 and more steams coming in on Drake. I'll just keep waiting for the line movement, but I would take Bradley today. Thoughts on the Providence game? Yeah, I got you, fam. Real quickly, I would look to grab Ole Miss a little bit higher live. I do think Arkansas does win that game, but Ole Miss defensively, I'm a big Chris Beard fan as well. I think that would be a tough one. So let me go to the Providence game real quick. Providence and Butler. I lean Providence here. The reason being is Butler's in that position where it's do or die. They're 0-4 in conference. And it's like, what do we do? Where do we go from here, right? We can see, 7 straight losses. And I'll be honest with you guys. Thad Matta, he's had his seasons at Ohio State. Obviously, you can see here, right? Elite 8, Final 4 run, Sweet 16, right? Like he had his moments. But when you look at the full body of work for some of the teams that he's had, he's just not been that good, right? He's just not been that good. And I'm just being honest. He's one of those guys. I feel like the committee gives people like a Tom Izzo, old Jim Boeheim, like some of those guys the benefit of the doubt, right? Like when they're on the bubble. I think Thad Matta is one of those guys. And to see that this Butler team has not been able to keep up in the transfer portal era, to see them not to struggle. And don't get me wrong, like their team, they haven't made the tournament since he's been there. And to see them lose 7 straight games here, like it's a fade for me. I would take Providence on the money line and parlay that with somebody a little bit stronger, just to not lay the. Yeah, I would take 2.5. That's under a bucket, or just take them live. But I like Providence here today, and this is a do or die game for Providence too. They're 1-3. But the Duncan Center is what I'm betting on here. So that's the way I do this analysis. Both teams, your season's on the balance. This is where you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, like, what are we going to do? And the fact that Providence is playing at home, which is still one of those true road environments in college basketball, I would take Providence here at home at the Duncan Arena. Tough place to play. They played UConn hard. They lost that game by 3 points. But if Providence loses this game, they lose it in the first half. But, I mean, they lost to St. John's by 2 points at home. They've been competitive. They're right there. So I think when you look at the schedule, too, for Providence, they win today against Butler. They're winning next game against Seton Hall. Both of those games are at home. Then they go on the road to play Creighton, Villanova, Georgetown, Seton Hall. So Providence can win their next 5 straight games, or 4 of their next 5. They know that. So they know their season's not over, but this is a defining moment for them. I would take Providence at a very short line here at -2.5. I like that, man. I really do, now that I've kind of handicapped that out loud a little bit. Let's see here. We're already on all these teams. I'm just not really feeling like laying big spreads right now, but I would take San Diego State. Air Force is one of those auto fade teams. They suck. They're hot garbage. You might want to go like first half spread on this one, just depending on what the line looks like. It's going to be high. 12. Yeah, it's 12. It's a little high, but like, this is one of those games that get put away early in the first half. But that's really it, man. That's it. That's what I have for this college basketball board for today, guys. I do appreciate you guys for tapping in this morning. And yeah, Just K said he's never doing the Lake Show again in the NBA for sure, bro. The Lakers, yeah, that's why I said today we're gonna chill out on the NBA. Let's make some straight coin on college basketball. Today, I'll do a few player props for tomorrow. We'll get back into doing the NBA player props earlier in the morning too, in a little bit. But right now, with I like. College football's tomorrow, NFL this weekend. No need to force it. Let's just, take it one step at a time, build our units up, and let's keep getting to that cheddar. All right, guys? Appreciate it. Smash that subscribe button. Like the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate you all for tapping in. I'll be here tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, man. 9:30 is somewhere in that time to stream. It's the free 3, your boy Noble Living.